See, we can only ever work with what's ready. Whatever is ready within us is all we can work with. In the early part of my journey, I was so impatient. I'm still a bit impatient, but I was so impatient with myself. When I started having these ego battles, I remember asking Sashi, I think it was India trip number 2. I was like, Sashi, can you fix my ego? What do I do about this? And he just closed his eyes. And he nodded. I said, will I ever conquer this? He just nodded. And waved his hand. Like, you're dismissed, get out of it. And I was like, does that mean I'll do this? Or that he'll do this? Or what happens? Yeah? I was no more, I had no more information than before I went in. And it was a good few months later before I got a grip in that, yeah? Months later. Months of frustration. It can be hard to make sense of that. You know, if we start to get a bit philosophical about it, why would that be the case? I mean, if it makes sense that our soul is so light, and that is our natural essence, that's our natural being, why would there be such a strong barrier to it as ego? When our souls come to Earth, you know, Earth is like the best university ever. This is the Harvard of the planets, yeah, where we come to learn maximum lessons. We need a physical, material body like this. It's the most dense of all the realms. But with a body, we can experience. It's very hard to do that in any of our subtle bodies. So the full realm of experience, you described it really well, Colin. The full spectrum of experience becomes accessible to us when we come into that. And part of that is ego. There's also something in it for me that feels like ego is like the prison officer for karma. Life without parole, unless you do all the right things, and then you might get parole. So sometimes for me it feels like ego is the prison officer that's carrying out the sentence. Once we learn the lesson, whatever the karmic lesson is, whatever our choosing was of how to either remedy karma or what good karma we wanted to create, once we do that, then we make a breakthrough. Whenever our lesson with something is complete, we make the breakthrough. What we want to get to is where ego is not in charge. It can still creep in. But the more and more that we come into our soul connection, the less influence that ego can have. So you're right, we don't kill it completely. Yeah. But when it's ruling our life, we're being ruled by our emotions. We're being ruled by our senses. We're being ruled by what we want, what we desire, all of that stuff. That will keep bringing us on all sorts of different paths that usually lead to some kind of mayhem. It tends to not really go right for us, ultimately. It's all technically right. Yeah, but it doesn't always feel so pleasant. It'll be kind of hard lessons. As soon as we start getting closer and closer to soul connection, things will start working out really well. In ways that you might not have even been able to predict. This is how we start getting a sense of that we've cleared our karma. Yeah. When things start going well, the karmic wheel has turned around and everything good that we've put in starts coming back. So for ages it can feel like, God damn it, I'm doing all these good things. Good things. You know that game where you turn the wheels and you have to move the pieces and bring them all the way down to the bottom. So it's like you start with, put in the good karma. Asia's child, yeah. Yeah, we're putting in the good karmic pieces, but we may not get to feel those until the full wheel is turned around. And some of us are closer to that than others when we begin. Yeah. And it didn't matter what I did, it just turned to shit. It would just go wrong in some way. As soon as I started doing all the right things, boom, 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 things started to flow correctly. So we have to bear with that. We don't know for sure what our starting point is. So there might be a fair bit of work before we start to see results, depending on where that is.